Uh, it's not terribly interesting. We had some sort of business banking thing we all had to get signatures on, and we went to drummer and bass player's bar and had a beer, then had a couple more beers. Then we're like, I like you again. You're my friend. And then we decided to play a show. And then just kind of spiraled out of control from there.
Oh, just one festival. Okay, we'll play this one too.
Yeah.
Let's make a record. That's literally how it happened.
Why'd we break up in the first place? I quit. I was way, way over it. And I was in a really, like, pseudo-negative midlife crisis kind of place in my life. And it just...
we were sick of each other.
We were really sick of each other. I mean, it was just... We really... Hindsight being 20/20, we should have just taken a couple years off and gotten away from each other. And then there wouldn't be any reuniting questions anymore. It'd just be like, oh, so you have a new record out.
We've known each other for a very long time. Like,
yeah.
Rob, our bass player, he and I were in first grade together. So that's... And I didn't like him then, so I don't know why we thought being in a band would be a good idea.
You didn't like him in first grade?
No, I didn't even remember we were in first grade together.
Oh.
He told me we were. Like, oh, yeah. But...
we were going to play a show in Kansas City where we're from. And it was
get our gear out of Hawk. That was the first thing that had to happen.
Get our gear out of... My gear wasn't in Hawk.
I mean, yeah, I almost
we were just going to... It was like, oh, let's just play a show, see what happens. And then it was fun. So then we said we'd play some festivals. And then that turned into a tour. And somewhere along the line on those festivals, we were like, let's go and record a record in 2 weeks. Like, let's write it and record it in 2 weeks, see if we can do it. And we did not. But we started a record in 2 weeks.
That makes it sound like we did it on, like, a dare.
Kind of was, I felt. It was kind of like, we're going to try this, see if we can do it, and if not, we'll just scrap it. No harm, no foul. I don't think the shows had anything to do with it. It was really just that we were enjoying hanging out together. We were just having fun, you know? I mean...
I also had a feeling like, well, if we're gonna keep playing shows, we
have to.
We should. I mean, we weren't gonna be Steve Miller Band doing the greatest hits over and over. I mean, I guess we could, but that's not really fun for us.
It's a scheduling nightmare, just in general, because everybody has other projects.
Children.
People have families.
I hadn't toured since my daughter was born, so that was a completely new world for her and me.
Yeah. So you have to schedule things pretty far in advance in order to get everybody at the same place at the same time. So, but I mean that's good. I think
it sort of forces you to have to.
Well, and it keeps
be on
us.
top of it.
It keeps us from only hanging out with each other because like still we do get along now, but we need time away. That's what is keeping us from killing each other now, as opposed to back then. Well, the EP was part of the same group of sessions.
Well, initially it was going to be, we weren't going to release an album.
Well, first it was going to be an album,
EPs, right?
and then it was going to be 3 EPs, but then we realized that was stupid, and so we decided to do a full album, and I mean that was it wasn't a whole lot of thought put into it, but like the songwriting process was really different. We just went into a room with no ideas, like no one brought any songs to the table. We just
a part usually.
We tried to write a song a day, and it was like kind of a rough sketch of like this is the verse and this is the chorus and this is the general beat, and then flesh it out. So it was like kind of like your first idea is your best idea kind of thing. I think for the most part, right?
Yeah.
It was. Robbie said he's like, hey, Bob's mastering records now, and we're like, oh, sweet. And we sent it off to him, and it sounded great.
He did the EP first, which we thought sounded really, really good. Said, why?
Bob's a sweet dude.
Why
He's
go
got
anywhere
good
else?
ears. So.
To not sound like robots.
It sounds. I mean, people make the argument that it sounds better, sounds warmer. For us, I think the idea was more to challenge ourselves. Like we did it. It's very easy when you get into that Pro Tools mindset of just like, all right, just get it good one time, and then I'll cut and paste and put it, you know.
I think you lose that
organicness
where
you can. You don't always do it, but it's really easy to go into that mindset.
I know Ed, he really enjoyed not having a screen in front of him because, you just get used to looking at, that needs the waveforms that need to be moved here, and you're not actually just listening. you know. And I feel like almost some of the looseness is lost because it's like too perfect, you know. Music isn't supposed to be absolutely perfect, or humans shouldn't be playing it, you know. I mean, that's kind of the beauty of it.
Yeah, we didn't use any computers at all. Like even all the synth stuff is all analog synthesizers, and like it was just, I don't know, it felt like the right thing to do. It was kind of challenging, fun, you can do all sorts of weird stuff with tape, flip it over, record it backwards. I think if people are open-minded to the idea of a band evolving, then they get it. If all they want is to hear our first record that they listened to in high school, then they're, you know, we play several of those songs live and you'll have a good time, but that's not the only thing that we do. We tend to have, this band seems to have periods, almost like the way like a painter would evolve, and there are people who really, really like our first two records. There's people who really, really like On a Wire. There's people who really, really like Guilt Show. And I think that this record, if you are one of those people who can like embrace everything as a whole, then you can really get it. You can wrap your head around it, and people like it. But, you know, the people who only want you to be 18 years old and, you know, write those songs again. I mean, I've
been thinking about that a lot.
Can't help them anyway.
Thinking about, like, we play the song Woodson, and I think I wrote some of the lyrics when I was 17 years old, and it just, first of all, I guess it blows my mind that we're playing things that I sung when I was 17, but also I wouldn't even know how to write something like that. I don't think I could do that just because I'm a grown man with real problems, not a 17-year-old, you know?
About that. Wow.
Music for people with real problems?
That's awful.
Online, I mean, the Twitter
stuff.
world blows my mind. And I was telling Matt this. I personally don't. I mean, I like it in a sense. It's nice to be connected to our fans, but I don't like it that I feel like we have to do it in a way. Like,
yeah, because you don't want to.
You almost
write
feel like a narcissist.
Boring,
like, look,
you know.
Like, okay, here's something else. Look at me. Like, you know.
They say, okay, we're going to Last.fm. Like that's interesting, you know. But just like, oh, I'm gonna order a tuna sandwich for lunch. Like, who gives a crap? But anyway, that's just something. It's just the evolution of the industry. I've liked, you know what I've liked besides that, the internet changing everything is how many, like, I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of really good, like, indie bands that, like, aren't, how do I put this? Grown-ups can listen to as well, and it's not just, like, really, like, abrasive, like, you know, like bands like Broken Social Scene and Arcade Fire and Bon Iver and The National and stuff like that, which is sort of like, I don't know, like I can listen to them with my mom, you know, or something like that, and it's not super abrasive, and it's kind of been embraced by the mainstream, I think, or so I've been told. No. I wish there was. I wish I had a good story for that.
We did want to make it so, like a little app where you could put your face onto the person. We'll see how that's coming along.
I think primarily we just wanted something. We were working with our friend Micah, and we just wanted something that actually looked like a piece of artwork and not like 5 dudes on a record cover looking tough,
behind a brick
kind
wall.
of thing, by a brick wall. And so, like, I feel like there's only like 4 panels in the layout, but I feel like they all go together really well, and it's kind of like an artistic. We just thought it looked cool. So
it doesn't look cool.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.